Hello guys, this is going to be our next little feeding video. I'm going to be feeding most of my slings and or watering them for the most part. This is one that I just already did. I saw a freshly molted tiny mealworm, so I gave it to him. This is my Brazilian blue tarantula. He's still relatively small. Oops, sorry. He's about 1 finger length in size, and he's relatively nice. I'm really looking forward to when he gets a lot bigger and then has more of a color on him. This is just a sling, of course, so he's not as blue as I'd like him to be, but we're gonna get on. I'm gonna grab a different tarantula and we'll get going with this video. So I pulled out my Mexican red knees. I don't exactly know which species they are in terms of their scientific name, but I pulled them out. One of them is way bigger than the other one, well, way bigger in relative terms. He seems very plump, so I will actually be skipping the feeding video on him and just watering him a little bit with my handy dandy spray bottle. Just give him a couple drops on the side, and I will be doing the same here for this little guy, just to give him. I did grab one of my smaller mealworms and just cut him in half. I'm gonna grab actually the head, so where it wriggles around, I'll get his attention to see if we can get him to feed a little bit. Oh, and it doesn't appear to be, he doesn't appear to be hungry. Since I just cut up the mealworm, I'm just actually gonna put it there and leave him, and eventually he will either eat it or it will die within 24 hours. I will take it out and we'll move on to the next tarantula. Next on this feeding list is going to be one of my personal favorites, which is my Guatemalan tiger rump, which is usually down here. Sorry for the sticker. I was testing out some labeling stickers, and of course there's going to be a few of them that just straight up don't come up. But if you can barely see, right there are some tiny legs, and it's actually one of the more beautiful species once it gets a little bit bigger. But currently, since he's just there, I'm just going to attempt to feed him, give him a little tiny bit of mealworm, and just drop it in, and he will eventually come and get it. But yeah, that is my tiger rump from Guatemala, and he is relatively tiny. I mean, I like him as a species. And then, well, finally, this is going to be the last tarantula I'm feeding. I've taken a glance of all my little slings, but most of them have been very around for the past couple of days, so I'm assuming they're going to be in pre-molt pretty soon. This one I actually just picked up at the reptile show in Hillard, something along those lines in Ohio. So it's an M. balfouri, of course. This isn't going to be the only one that I own. Sooner or later I'm going to end up buying a couple others, but I just picked up one because he was $50 and I just decided to get him. He's currently right there. This is his little setup that I got him in, which is actually just a candy container that I drilled holes in. But I did attempt to feed him when I first got him, and he did not eat. Well, I'm assuming it's a guy. I have no idea until they molt with me, and then I'll be able to tell you if it's a male or female, and of course I will be showing you. That's my knife right there that I used to cut up the mealworms. But that is my M. balfouri, which I'm super excited about, and hopefully I will be getting a huge communal enclosure for. And if you guys are wondering what's in this one, it's actually a Crested Gecko that I just recently got. I mean, the plant's dying, so I got to do a little bit more maintenance. I'm going to add a drainage layer and a little bit, but this was just thrown together. I didn't have much on me. I'm probably going to pull up a couple big species just to get the video to a couple more minutes. Okay, so I actually got to go get some more water because I just ran out filling up her water dish. But this is my Nando Cramatus, large female. She's large in terms of the spiders that I have. I mean, I have a smallish collection of maybe 26 spiders, but I will be feeding her because she's always a good eater. And since most of my slings didn't want to eat, it's very hard to do with one hand. Most of my slings are very hard to catch. Let's see if she's hungry. Oh, I dropped it. She's a very skittish tarantula. Oh, and she just ripped it out of my hand, actually. She's a very skittish tarantula, so I wouldn't suggest her as a as a beginner species, because she can be a little defensive and aggressive in terms of like keeping eyes. I definitely wouldn't handle her. I actually do have a smaller version, which is my tiny sling that I have in here, who's super small actually. And if I can get it to focus, maybe you'll be able to see her. Well, we can't, but they're in here, and I'm very excited to see them grow. They grow relatively quickly, and as you can see by me just having food near her, she grabbed it out of the tongs and tried to eat it. But yeah, that is my Nando Cramatus. She's a very beautiful tarantula. I mean, I definitely suggest this as a very good display species. Don't mind the leaves. They're definitely not weed leaves. But yeah, I just filled up her water dish. She does have a tendency of kicking substrate into her water dish. So when I actually first grabbed her from a friend of mine, she had just thrown dirt on top of the water dish. So now she has a nice little enclosure. I gave her a hide. She doesn't use it at all. She literally just sits there or on the water dish. So that's what she does. She's a very beautiful species. But yeah, that's Nando Cramatus. I might pull up one or two more tarantulas just for the video. So of course, next on my feeding / watering video is going to be my B. emilii, which is a more recent addition to my collection. I actually am planning on getting rid of this acrylic enclosure because I just don't like how they open. I had a problem with one of my spiders actually getting out due to how it opens in a direction that I wasn't appealing, which is that avic right there. Yeah, you got out. No. Okay, so we have this beautiful specimen. I mean, I'm gonna be cleaning out her little dish. She tends to throw shit in it. Oh well. Well, I'm just gonna be cleaning it out real quick, giving it a little sprucing up. Okay, well, I got it relatively clean. There's now dirt in the corners, but I'm in the process of getting new ones. Well, making new little tiny water dishes that are in between cap size and the actual water dishes that I use for some of my bigger species. I don't particularly think that she's going to be super hungry, but we will be filling up her water dish. This is the worst way I could have gone about it. Just gonna fill it up the old-fashioned way. Oh yeah, and if you're wondering, I just picked this up at Home Depot for $5. It works a lot better than the ones you get at Walmart, because the one that I did have one that I got from Walmart and it just broke within a month. I mean, of constant spraying down enclosures and stuff. But this is my B. emilii. I will be trying to feed her. Let's see what we got. I actually got these from the reptile show as well, which are black soldier fly larvae. A new feeding thing for me. I've actually never used them. Let me see if I can get a relatively big one. If not, we'll pull out the mealworms. Oh, there's a big fat chunky one. I don't think she's super hungry, since I did just feed her maybe less than a week ago. Oh, let's give her. There we go. Did you find it? You got it? Can't tell. But yep, there he is. I do love this species because of the different colorations on her legs and then the beautiful V on top. I really do love tarantulas. I mean, that's why I keep them. But a lot of people are scared of tarantulas and bigger spiders, and it's, I mean, to a certain extent, that one who just ripped it out of my hands and tongs. Certain ones can be very docile and very nice to keep. I mean, this one is definitely a display tarantula because she can be a little defensive in general. There's her piece of cork bark that she uses to hide under. Sometimes she growls into it, but for the most part she just stays on top. But she's got in her enclosure pretty loosey-goosey. Yep. Oh, let's see if I can lock it. There we go. Yep, there's my tarantula, and this is probably going to be the last one. I mean, of course I will be adding probably another video within a week or so, and we'll get to see the majority of my other tarantulas. And of course I will be doing another pairing video with that female and the male that's in one of them, that one, it's right there. Look at him. Okay, and that's a lizard. These two contain lizards, and that, of course, is not mine. That is Bean, which is my girlfriend's little pet hamster. But we're in the process of getting more shelving units so I can get a little bit more organized with my collection, because we just recently moved, and I'm in the process of just getting space ready for myself. So this is just temporary, where you will be able to see the majority of my species, and hopefully we will continue to grow and get more species.